Alright, let's continue working with our shooting, and in this video we will add actual bullets, actual projectiles. Of course, it's optional step. You might not want to have projectiles at all, and well, in general, when you are doing some shooting mechanics, you can leave it just ray casting and add some um, impact effects and other kind of effects. And it will look like that our gun is actually shooting, and most of the games are using that in 3D space. But since we are doing side scroller, I think it will be better a little bit to create actual bullets for the visuals. And for that, well, we need to have some models, and I prepared this Fire Ice Projectile Explosion pack. It will be attached on this video, but if something is not working, you can also find it here in the asset store with the name of Fire Ice Projectile Explosion. It's completely free, so you can also get it from here. Now, when we have it in our project, let's open our prefabs. Here we have the bullet trail blue and bullet trail red, and also explosions. But I will use this bullet trail red. What I will do for a moment, I will just drag and drop it in my scene. So let's go in scene folder and drag and drop this third one. And of course, we are not able to see it yet. But if we open this prefab, we have different things. We have stars. If I go in game view, as you see, we have trails. And if I move my bullets, you see we have nice looking trails, nice looking fire trail. I think we don't need to have stars. Actually, I'm not sure though. Let's for a moment hide the stars from here. By the way, you can hide your game objects by deactivating them. And well, now we can move. Yeah, I think without stars it might look a little bit better, but we will see. Anyway, one detail that we should add is rigid body, and rigid body is one of the main physical components of the game objects. It allows us to have some gravity and other physical forces applied to game objects. So let's select our bullet trail red. Let's click add components, and let's type here in the search box rigid body. Let's add it. And also I will just uncheck use gravity because I want to just fire my projectile in the Z direction. I don't want it to fall down in this kind of scenario. So for that, I will just uncheck use gravity. All right. Now, let's open our C# script, our player controller script, and let's get reference to our projectile. And well, for that, we will say public game object, and let's call this one projectile prefab. And also we will create one float to control speed of bullets. So public float, and let's call this one projectile speed. And let's make it by default to be, I don't know, 40F. Let's try 40. If something, we can always change it later. Now, let's scroll all the way down where we are doing shooting, and after we do this if and else statement before this raycast hit, what we will do, we will create some placeholder container. So we will say game object, but with a capital first letter, not lowercase, so don't get confused with it. Game object. This game object is one of the types of variables. So game object, and let's call this one projectile simply, and it will be equal. Now we should basically create our projectile into our scene. When you want to create those kind of things, you can use one method, which is instantiate. So let's call instantiate, and in brackets we should type few parameters. First, it needs to know what we are creating. Well, we are creating our projectile prefab, so we will say projectile prefab. comma. After that, it needs to know where we are location, where to create this projectile prefab. Well, we want to create it at the tip of our gun, where we have fire point, so fire position. So we can say fire pose dot position. And after that, it needs to know rotation, so we can simply say fire pose dot rotation. Very nice. After that, we should get reference and get our rigid body that we added in our projectile. And for that, what we can say rigid body, and let's call this one RB equals projectile dot get components, and the component that we want is rigid body. So we are just using get component just like we had in the void start, but we are doing it in the function directly. And now we can say rb.velocity equals, so we are just giving it some direction and some speed to actually make our bullet to move and do something. So we can say shoot direction, which is controlling our direction correctly, times our projectile speed. That's pretty much it. Let's save the script, let it compile, and let's go back. And we should do one more thing. You see, this bullet trail is prefab because it has different icon, blue icon, and also it's blue. Also, our soldier is prefab, and other ones are just simple game objects. Now, prefabs are just like game objects, but the difference is that we can use these prefabs a lot of times from the scripts, and we will talk about prefabs in the later stages more. But anyway, one detail that you should remember is that when you do some changes to the prefab, so for example, right now we have added this rigid body. So it means that we need to save changes. And it's a little bit different. We just need to click on these overrides and click apply all. And it will make sure that this prefab, original prefab that you have in assets folder, also will have rigid body assigned to it. Now, we can delete this bullet trail red from our hierarchy. We don't need it anymore. So let's delete. Now let's select soldier. And here we should add projectile prefab, and we should do it from the assets window from here, not from the hierarchy. So let's drag our third projectile. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Let's press play. Let's see how it looks like. So we are shooting, but I think without star it looks weird. So probably we should activate our star. I will stop playing. I will select my third projectile. Let's drag and drop it for a moment again. Let's open it and let's activate our star once again. Now I will select my bullet trail. I will click overrides. I will click apply all again, and let's remove it from the hierarchy. And now let's try. And here we go. Oh, shooting is really fast. Let's select our soldier. I will make projectile speed to be 20. It was a little bit too fast. And now we have better looking shooting. Yep, indeed. We have nice looking trail. And we are able to shoot our enemies, obviously. Here we go. We have nice looking shooting. Of course, we should modify it a bit, and we will continue working on it in the next video. For now, let's save this scene.